What is up, guys? It's Steve from Get Game Smart. Welcome back to another TFT VOD review. Thank you very much for checking out the channel. Remember to like and subscribe, really helps a lot. And I've got a super exciting game for you guys. It's an assassin game, and it seems like assassins are in every lobby at the moment. Like it's a pretty low play rate according to tactics tools, but I'm seeing a lot of these in my games, and I'm sure you guys are too. So somebody's figured out how to play the ninja assassin build a little bit better than it used to be, and make it a little bit more forcible. With the idea being that you're going to get all your assassins, the locket's going to protect them, and your Akali and Talon are going to be the hard carries here, really prioritizing the RFC on your Akali, as well as the IE, and then another IE for your Talon, as well as the locket. So items definitely matter here, but it's a super fun build, guys. It was kind of inspired by the Assassin Ninja build that was going around prior to this, which it has always been a super fun build. The issue with it has been that it's been super high roll. It's like either you get the units or you don't. It's really feast or famine. And yeah, builds are really similar. This one is actually the ninja variant, which is super exciting. That's why I'm really happy to show you guys this game. Anyways, let's kick into the VOD review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers. So here we are jumping right into the game. Unfortunately, we did not have a really good start with the carousel, and we ended up with a tier. That's sort of life. Sometimes I'm winning all the carousels, sometimes I'm really not getting what I want off of them. Really doesn't matter too much, but if you do know that you're going to be forcing this build, I would recommend that you go for either a component for your locket, so that's a needlessly large rod or a chain vest, or one of the bows, because you definitely want to prioritize the Akali items if you know you're going to be forcing this comp. But if you're not forcing it, then you just kind of play your strongest board. You've got to play the game the way it comes to you. This, especially at the higher levels, you want to stay flexible. So that being said, this is a pretty forcible comp right now. I've seen probably 2 or 3 Akali players in each of my lobbies since Bunny Muffins ended up making that video about the hidden sleeper OP comp. So it is really good, guys. Trust me. Definitely recommend playing it because it is a really fun one. And another tier from our second round of minions. So we're feeling pretty bad about our items, but can never let that get you down in TFT. It's not about the items you have, it's about what you do with them, or something like that. But seriously, guys, we're not feeling too strong with our early board here. We're at 1-4, headed into 2-1, which is the first round of PvP combat, and we have no synergies on the board, no real prospects. Finally, we get some money here, but it's not really enough to do much with it. Yeah, we miss our Braum. That's really unfortunate, because we at least could have thrown in Vanguard and then looked for sharpshooters, but instead we're pretty content on the fact that we don't have much, but we do have some keepers, and actually we've got keepers and brawler pair. We could level up and throw that in, and I think that is what the play is as well. Oh, no, sorry, it's not. It's actually keepers, and I'm leaning into the cultist here. It looks like it'll be a keeper cultist opening. Again, even though we know this is going to be a ninja assassin game, you can't play assassins if you don't get them in your first shot. So, yeah, we're just trying to make do with what we've got, and we actually end up coming away with the first round win, I think. Are we going to be able to take this Tom down? He's pretty tanky. Chosen Tom is a really good frontline. Either Fortune or Brawler, I would definitely pick him up if you see him in your early shop. And yeah, that's why basically we are able to take him down eventually. Many hands make for light work. And we do find the cultist to throw in. So the keeper cultist opening, guys, we played this in our last VOD. We've played this in a few of our VODs, I believe. It's super strong through the early game. Again, for any new viewers or new players here, the reason that this synergy is so strong is because you can get it in with only 4 characters pretty easily. And Galio is the main appeal of the cultist composition. Galio drops down when your team's taking 50% of their health and damage, and that's a flat number which does not take shields into effect. So it's really easy to have the Galio being called down when your team is pretty healthy or almost all alive still, which is not typically the case. So really good, simple, synergistic trait to help you roll over the early game. And yeah, if you run Keeper Cultist, you're gonna win streak round 2 in a lot of lobbies. So definitely recommend it. We, in a better world, would be slamming our items here, but unfortunately we don't have the most flexible items. 2 tiers and a chain vest. Don't really like Frozen Heart as an item. I think it's in a really bad spot. I think they could change it pretty easily, either by tweaking the values or the radius at level 1. Yeah, I don't think you should have to stack an item in order for it to be useful, because at that point it's 4 components and it's just such a sunk cost. And yeah, blue buff, I don't really have any good blue buff holders for. I would, in a more flexible comp, I would rather one of those tiers be a crit cloak, so I could slam a Hodge, which would work in just about any comp. But again, we always play the hand we're dealt in TFT, and if that means we've got 2 tiers early, then I mean they can join our IRL tiers as we just cry and cry and cry. But the items have not prevented us from stringing a win streak together through 2-3 here, so we're pretty happy. Managed to make the first round of eco as well. You got 2 choices prior to the first carousel if you're win streaking. The first is make eco, and I think that is probably the higher priority most of the time. But if you're unable to make eco, but you are win streaking, or you're pretty confident you're going to level up anyways, you can pre-level there. It's a pretty effective time to pre-level, which will just increase the chances of seeing higher level champions in your next shop there. Super handy, super helpful. And again, this is being played at the Diamond 2 Elo, and any advantage you can get over these players is pretty important, because everyone's playing to win pretty aggressively, and yeah, nobody's giving their LP away for free. So another good thing about the Cultist Keeper opening, you guys are probably sick of me raving and ranting about it, is that you can slot in the early cannon though. He does a ton of damage at level 1 even without items, so we're pretty happy about that. So we see this Akali in our shop, but we really pay it no attention. At this point we think the game is still pretty routine as usual. Playing our Keeper Cultist, probably transitioning into a Keeper game is what it might look like, and what you might think after watching my last few VODs. But in this case, we're going to get sent a high roll shop pretty soon that changes the way we see the game. We see that the person that we're playing against just had an Akali comp, actually. So yeah, super popular comp right now. I'm definitely not the only person playing it in this lobby. So as you can see, we're level 5, guys, and this is an Akali chosen, so this is a 5% roll. Really not likely to actually pick this up. So I'm currently 100% win streaking, so I'm currently trying to sweat my positioning of my board against this other guy, which is a huge mistake. I'm seeing that he's got a 3-star Tristana already. Like, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this guy is so far ahead. He's already won the game. And I instead concentrate on making eco. At least I've got two rings of eco, so even if I don't win, I'm still like almost on pace with him. I miss the fact that there's a 3-cost chosen in my freaking shop, so unfortunately I do not pick this up in time to get it slotted in. It's only after I've watched my dreams of win streaking be crushed that I actually think, oh my god, wait, this is a 3 or a 5% roll or whatever. And then in my next shop, ladies and gentlemen, I already had the Kennen. I just picked up the Akali. In my next shop, I see the Shen and I see the Zed. Holy high roll. I have never played this composition before. Actually, that's not true. I forced it once back in Bronze in set 4. It was one of like the 12 games I played that set, and I don't think I made it to the top 4. I yeah, I can almost assure you I did not. But I remember I tried to force it one time because I thought it was a really cool looking comp. And then suddenly here we are at 2-7, and we just high rolled it in back-to-back shops naturally. Sweet. So at this point I was like really excited for this game because I am not usually one to play a lot of assassins, but since it's in the meta right now, and since I was handed what I consider to be a better version of the comp on a silver platter, I was ecstatic to try it out. So really, yeah, a super lucky game from the RNG basis, but definitely one I wanted to show you guys because it gets pretty spicy in the late game. So now we're thinking, hey, since we have this Akali, we actually have a use for these tiers. We make a blue buff. If we're talking about Akali itemization, basically there's two items that I feel are a priority or like a must get, and that would be Infinity Edge and RFC. RFC just keeps her so much safer. You can put her in the middle of the board, really reduces the variability of assassin positioning. And like assassins are super finicky. If your positioning is off just a little bit, it really can impact the effect of the match. But RFC really mitigates that. Like it reduces the variability because your Akali is going to be attacking priority targets almost no matter what, which is really good, obviously. So yeah, that's RFC, and then IE, because IE gives 75% crit chance. The assassin trait gives 25% crit chance plus spell crit, so 100% chance for your burst damage to crit is obviously amazing DPS increase for Akali, and for any of the assassins for that matter. Infinity Edge is like the best item on any assassin, like hands down. So provided you're running the assassin trait. Maybe that's not true for some of them, but definitely for Talon and Akali. And then the third item is sort of up for debate. Basically the rule of thumb is if you're going to 3-star her, you can build a defensive item, but if you're not going to 3-star her, you're better off with another damage item. So for example, if you're not going to 3-star her, then I would say blue buff is probably the third item, which would be a best in slot Akali for like my personal preference. Other people prefer the Guardian Angel, some people prefer the Hodge, but I think unless you're going 3-star Akali, I don't think the Guardian Angel is that important. Or even like I think Hodge would be better for 2-star Akali, just to keep letting her one-tap everything, because that's really where she shines, where she literally only has to attack things once, because she is really squishy. Yeah, we're now doing a bit more scouting than we usually do, just to try and keep our assassins in good positions. So if you have the locket, you want to line them all up on the back row, but since we don't have a locket, unfortunately, we're more just trying to keep our assassins in the corner where we think that they're going to wind up against the enemy carries, and then we're keeping our pike away from our group so that he's in the opposite corner. The idea being that pike will then run all the way across the enemy team and stun as many enemies as possible. Yeah, that's the idea. So since that one loss, we've just been chugging along since we hit our Akali chosen. Really unfortunate that we didn't realize what we were given at the time, because we could probably have kept a 100% win streak if we'd just assassinated that guy's 3-star Tristana. But hey, I guess that's the moral of the story. You never realize what you got till it's too late. So cherish what you got in the moment, guys. And I mean, just appreciate the fact that we're still win streaking even after that. So this game's looking super controlled, super comfortable. A lot of my games up in Diamond have been feeling kind of like desperate, where I'm just like really clinging on for life, or making a big last stand when I'm rolling down at 8, hoping that I hit something to stay alive. But this game was feeling a lot more relaxed, a lot more fun, and that's probably the most important thing, because hey, this is just a game after all. So yeah, definitely love having games like this that just you hit what you want to hit, and not only that, maybe it's not what I wanted to hit, but I hit it so hard I had no choice not to take it. It would have been super silly if I would watch this VOD back and realize that I turned down 4 ninjas at 2-7 on natural rolls. So yeah, definitely an exciting game to play. And I've been really enjoying TFT, guys. Hope you guys have too. If you haven't and you want to see some videos on something else, definitely drop that down in the comments below. Really been appreciating all of the support and enthusiasm that my subscribers have been showing. It means the world. So if you guys want to get in at the ground level, now's the time. I'm definitely give me a comment and I'll shout you back down below. Please and thank you. So we're finishing. Well, we're coming into the mid game here, and we've got a very solid, really solid lineup still. Like, we've got so much damage in this build. We're really looking for a Crit Glove or a couple of bows would be ideal to get this Akali decked out. But we're living our life, and yeah, we're letting the game come to us. We're not forcing anything. Like, we know that we're in a comfortable position, so we're not rolling down past 50 gold. Yeah, exactly. We didn't have to go fast 7 or anything. We're, yeah, in a comfortable spot, sitting pretty near the top of the leaderboard. But we are dealt a loss because people are starting to hit in this lobby. Every game kind of goes through this bit of a lull in the mid game where, sure, there's some scary brawler boards, or the people that hit 6 cultists will take you down, but they're not doing that much damage because, I mean, the cultist board, you kill half the board, then Galio shows up, and Galio doesn't actually do very much damage. He doesn't count as a unit when he's like when you're totaling the damage taken after the round. So they don't actually do that much damage, and plus, like, round 3 and 4, just like the damage, the base damage is quite low. So there's always this like mid game lull, but then you feel it pretty acutely when round 5 happens. Everybody has a solid comp out there, and you're losing a lot of damage if you if you don't, basically. If you can't keep up, then you're in trouble. So we get some really fun items here. We get an assassin, so a Crit Glove, which we actually slam into the IE because that is the priority. We would have loved to slam that into an assassin spatula, and maybe that was the correct call. Probably throwing it on Kennen would have been the play. But instead we saw, hey, IE, that's too sweet on our Akali that's doing so much damage, and we really want that Akali to continue to carry us through this round. So we need to make sure that they're doing the damage. We do get a locket finally. Lockets are really big to this composition. Any composition that you play without a frontline, guys, so that's your Spirit Sharpshooter rerolls, any assassin build, definitely get a locket, because that locket is going to prevent your carries from getting one shot, and that's the difference between winning rounds and not. Yeah, exactly. It's super valuable to get a locket. I know it got nerfed, guys, but it didn't really get nerfed. It got nerfed on 3-star units, and if you have a 3-star unit with a locket, it's still going to be efficient because it's still like 2.5 thousand health worth of shields or whatever at 3 stars, or 2.4 thousand. Yeah, it's crazy. Definitely slam lockets if you're playing this build. It will save you from bot 4ing a lot. Yeah, like even when it doesn't turn the tide of the battle, it's still gonna just ensure that you're doing enough damage to not go 8th. And that's what a lot of this game is about, is making sure you're not at the bottom of the heap, which happens too. And I'm thinking about doing a VOD review actually with one of my friends who is incredibly good at the game, Wanaki Griffith. Catch him on Twitch TV at twitch.tv/Wanaki. He's a Grandmaster level player, and yeah, we're thinking about doing a VOD review of one of my 8ths, and having him kind of look at it and basically tell me where I messed up, where I done goofed, and how I could have salvaged that game. Let me know down below in the comments if that's something that would be of interest to anybody, and yeah, then I'll talk him into doing it, and we can put some pressure on him there. So, yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. So at this point, I'm rolling down a little bit at level 7 here, just to try and 2-star some of my assassins. I've lost a few rounds. I won a round, lost a round, won a round, lost a round. So I'm kind of thinking I want to 2-star some of my board. I've got quite a few outs in basically 2-starring my assassins. So I figure I'll slow roll down to 50 and try and 2-star some of them, save some health. That's the idea here. And fortunately, it looks like some of these players near the bottom are starting to falter a little bit here, which is quite good for us, because I don't know about you guys, but I would way rather have somebody be knocked out than sticking around on 3 health and start win streaking, because I don't know how many games I've seen somebody come back from 1 health now, and it's like, hey, let's just realize the gains that is knocking someone else out. Because until they're out, the show ain't over. So at this carousel here, I am really eyeing up a bow, because that would give me my RFC, I believe. I believe that's what I'm salivating over. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to happen, but such is life. Able to pick up another blade. And yeah, there's definitely some good we can do with that still. So just because you don't get the item you want doesn't mean you can't get a good item. Hitting another 2-star on that cannon there, and lo and behold, that bow that we were so anxiously awaiting is here. And since we got that, we have slapped it down. We have a best in slot Akali. This Akali is so strong right now. It's unbelievable. We actually should be positioning her in the middle. I'm sure we'll do that soon. No, maybe not. We'll let it go the first round. As soon as you get that RFC, definitely throw your Akali in the middle. Like I said, just going to let her attack the backline carries without having to move, basically. Oh, look at her doing the work, though. Just so much damage. So much damage. Feels good. That's a huge upgrade over no RFC. Shyvana tried to hold that brawler crew together, but was no match for this absolutely loaded assassin board. Ninja's a really interesting trait to me, so I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. But ninja, basically, you'll always want to have one of them, because if there's one of them, they get a 50%, I believe, like attack damage or ability power, I don't know, some large multiplier to their damage stat, to both of their damage stats, which is great, like AD and AP, ability power and attack damage, which is massive. And then at 4, they also get that bonus, but they get that bonus with even a larger coefficient. But in between there, you don't want to run ninjas. So you want to run 1 ninja, or you want to run 4 ninjas. You never want to run 2 or 3. And that's like, I don't know. I don't know why, but I find that interesting. But I think the more interesting thing is that it makes the ninjas really good chosens, because they're really reliable. And what I mean by that, I elaborated a bit on my Keeper Kennen video, is that any ninja that you're rolling for is always going to have the same chosen trait. So you're well, with the exception of Shen, actually, but Akali's always going to be an assassin chosen, because she can't be ninja chosen. Kennen's always going to be a keeper chosen. He can't be ninja chosen. And Zed's always going to be a Slayer chosen, because he can't be a ninja chosen. Shen technically could be Mystic or Adept, both of which are good. But yeah, if you're running any of those builds, then it kind of makes sense to think about potentially rolling for those chosens at levels that make sense. For example, rolling for Kennen or Akali at level 7 or 8, because you've got a 58 to 60% chance of hitting a level 3 chosen at that point. I think Z chosen is pretty weak. I think it's only good if you're like falling behind and kind of need to throw in like a Hail Mary early Slayer board. But I think typically Z chosen is like the weakest of the ninja chosens. So we've been econing super well this game, and that's allowed us to go a quick 8, well, not a quick 8, a regular 8 here, but still have 48 gold coins to our name. So we're in a pretty comfortable spot. We're at the top of the leaderboard. The one guy that was win streaking eventually had a soft point and ended up catching a bit of a lose streak, which I'm sure he was fine with because he econned off of it. But yeah, we're the board to beat right now, and a lot of people are stepping up to the plate, and a lot of people are getting toppled over. It looks like people are starting to fall out of the lobby here, and pretty early actually at 5-2 to have people falling out. I think a lot of people start falling out towards the end of round 5 and the beginning of round 6 is typically when lobbies start falling apart basically. And at this point, if you are level 8 and you do not have a strong board, you should be rolling down to at least 20 gold. I have a super strong board, so I'm comfortable sitting around 50 here, playing hot potato with some items to make sure I've got them all where I want to be. Things are still looking pretty up for this guy. Such a fun build, guys. Definitely don't recommend forcing the 4 ninja equivalent of this build, but the assassin build is super forcible, and the ninja version, I think it's stronger if you get it naturally like I did here in this game. So definitely recommend playing those while they're still so rampant in the meta. Maybe cool off for a day or two, or at least do some scouting, because this, like any build, it's worse when it's contested, and I've been seeing a lot of people running the Akali carries. So yeah, definitely do some scouting, but if it's free, it's free low. Just like the Spirit Sharpshooters. If you don't see somebody playing that, just run it down their mouths, because it's free low right now. That's basically how to play this game. Is you scout around for something uncontested, you stay open to possibilities, and then you hit, bro. Just hit. So it's it's always funny talking strategy about this game, because it's, at the end of the day, you could play this game completely perfectly, like you could be making the right decisions, and you could just not hit. Sometimes you just don't get that out. You just don't get that 2-star 4-cost carry that you've been rolling 80, 90, 100 gold for at level 8. That's just the reality of the game, and all you can do is, well, hopefully you've still got a couple of those tiers from earlier on the carousel, because you're going to need them. No, I'm just kidding. The reality of the game is that you just got to make the best of what you can do, and if you're constantly blaming your losses, though, on not hitting, then maybe it's time to take a step back, take a break, and queue up again tomorrow when the RNG will be better to you, or rather when you're going to be ready enough to take on the responsibility of piloting your own board. So I'm trying to get the static shiv on there. Forget who I was trying to get it onto, but end up just misclicking it, I believe. And I don't know if you guys have been experiencing this as well, but trying to throw items onto characters and it just like falls off them. I don't know. I think that is something that could be improved upon, the hitboxes of equipping items. But yeah, that maybe set 5. Who knows? A big hit here is we got our 2-star Talon and our 2-star Yuumi. Thinking about the Ornn here, we are really healthy, so the Ornn actually does make sense as a bit of a late game insurance policy. Everyone's hitting their build here. It's like the end of round 5, so I'm not super confident about this build in the late game. So I think I might throw the Ornn in just as a, like I said, a late game insurance policy. We'll see if I do or not, because this game was a few days ago. I didn't just play this today or whatever, so yeah, I just had it saved and wanted to get it out there. Yeah, we are starting to lose rounds here, and I remember thinking that I have enough health to probably top 4 here, but I'm not sure how many more boards I'm going to be winning. So yeah, I should really be doing some scouting to try and optimize the positioning of my assassins right now. If I'm not getting my Ornn in during this NPC round, then I really have no business holding it on my bench. It's crazy the amount of micro mistakes we make watching this game back. It's so easy to assume that we played well, but oof, we make mistakes all over the place. I know I do. So these VOD reviews have at least been really helpful for me in humbling myself, and that it making me realize that like this game is really complex and technical, and I don't understand it as well as I want to, or as well as I will in a week from now or a month from now. So that's always exciting for me. I don't want to play a solved game. That's why I'm not streaming tic-tac-toe. Yeah, it's more fun to play something that's complex, evolving. I think it's really cool that I didn't really see any assassin players a few weeks ago, and then all of a sudden this week I'm seeing assassin players left, right, and center. So I think it's really interesting to follow the meta and to just watch how it evolves. I'm not saying you should be a slave to the meta and only play the S tier comps, but towards the higher echelon of the players, that sort of ends up naturally happening. So definitely play the game the way you want, but I'm excited to see changes in it, and more than anything, definitely excited for set 5 that's coming up in about a month. So tell me guys what has been your favorite set so far down in the comments below. I'm a pretty new player, just joined in set 4 and only really started playing in set 4.5, so this set has definitely been my favorite because it's the one I've gotten lost in, but would love to hear about like the all-time best historical sets in your POV. So we're rolling down here, realize we might not be going to level 9, and we've got a few outs on the board, so it's just going to be better served to try and hit some of those to save more health, to see if we can continue to win a few of these rounds and not just take the top 4, see if we can do a bit better for ourselves. That Shabana is scary. Just did a ton of work against my team. Yeah, all of the boards right now are pretty scary. My biggest problem, and this is probably because I'm not an assassin player. Ooh, we just hit, guys. Sorry, we just hit our 3-star Akali. But my biggest problem here, and this is because I'm probably not an assassin player, is I'm not scouting as much as I should be, especially in this late game here. Ooh, double hit, double rainbow, all the way across the sky. We just hit a 3-star Pike. Oh my god, I forgot how hard I hit this game. There is one turn where it just all went gangbusters. I just hit my 3-star cannon, 3-star Pike, 3-star Akali. Yeah, this game just went straight to YouTube, folks. Like this is when I knew that this game was a blessed one, and yeah, and it made up for all of our sins of not scouting, because we pretty much just got handed everything we need. Everything we need. Yeah, this is pretty much a wrap, guys. Just got one guy left to knock off, and he really doesn't stand a chance against all of these 3-stars. Pick up a hand of justice for our Talon here, and yeah, it's game over. Game over for this player whose name I forget. They've put together a pretty solid Vanguard board. Is that a Vanguard Fable board? Oh, Brawler. Yeah, no, this Brawler board doesn't have a chance. He didn't 3-star his Shyvana, I don't think. That may have been... That probably would be the only way. Like, 3-star buy is not enough. It definitely needs to 3-star the Shyvana to have a hope of going toe-to-toe with this board. Just we've got so much damage. There's like 4 or 5 different units in this composition that can carry the damage if they don't get blown up. Really, it's the Akali, but yeah, that's all she wrote. GG, well played. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.